Sometimes the world feels like it's trying to silence you. People around you want you to shrink, to stay quiet, and to hold back what you were born to express. You've been told that your voice doesn't matter, that your presence doesn't count, and that your dreams are too big. But what if the truth is the opposite? What if your silence is not just about holding back, but about growing stronger, wiser, and more focused? There's power in your silence, a power that the world doesn't understand yet. Let's explore why they want you silent, and why you should never let that silence be mistaken for weakness. There's a strength in silence that the world can never take from you. In a world that thrives on constant noise, chatter, and the pressure to conform, silence becomes your greatest weapon. When you choose to remain quiet, when you refuse to engage with the negativity and distractions around you, people start to notice something they can't comprehend. They start to realize that they can't control you, that your peace is unshakable. You see, silence is often misunderstood. People mistake it for weakness, for hesitation, or for fear. But that's the furthest thing from the truth. The silence you choose is not born out of fear, nor is it a sign of weakness. It is born from strength, the strength to remain grounded, the strength to not let the noise of the world dictate your emotions, your actions, or your worth. When you remain silent in the face of chaos, you're making a statement that is far louder than any words you could ever speak. They want you silent because they know your voice is powerful. They want you to stay quiet so you don't disrupt their comfort zone. The truth is, when you stand up and speak your truth, you shake their foundations. When you rise and show up fully, unapologetically, you challenge the narratives they've spent years building around you. They don't want you to rise, to shine, to show them what real power looks like. They fear the magnitude of your potential, and so they try to quiet it, but they cannot. You can never be silenced unless you allow yourself to be. Understand this: silence is not submission, it is strategy. Every moment you choose not to engage in a petty argument, every time you hold your peace instead of letting your emotions take over, you are proving a point without saying a word. You are showing strength in its purest form. When you don't need to prove your worth to anyone, when you don't need to argue your position or defend your decisions, you are operating from a place of deep inner conviction. Think of the moments in life when you've been pushed, attacked, or misunderstood. You could have reacted, you could have shouted back or tried to justify yourself, but you didn't. You stood firm in your silence. And that silence spoke volumes. It communicated your clarity, your confidence, your resilience. It spoke to the truth of who you are, strong, centered, and unaffected by the noise around you. In those moments when the world expected you to break or lash out, you chose to rise above. And in doing so, you've already won. The moment you refuse to engage in petty battles, in meaningless confrontations, is the moment you begin to win in ways they will never understand. While they waste their energy fighting for control, you are quietly building the life you want. And when the time comes, your silence will have done all the talking. The truth is, silence is the loudest statement you can make. And those who have never experienced this kind of strength will never fully understand it. But you don't need them to. You already know. Your silence is not weakness. It is your greatest power. It is the foundation of your resilience, and it will carry you through battles they will never see coming. Choosing peace over conflict is one of the most powerful decisions you can make. In a world that constantly tries to stir you, choosing to stay calm and collected is a rebellion. It's not about letting people walk all over you. It's about understanding that your energy, your time, and your peace are sacred. They can't take that away from you. They want you silent because they fear what your silence means. They fear that your silence is not a sign of surrender, but a sign of strength. Strength that cannot be measured by the volume of your voice, but by the depth of your resolve. They fear the resilience that comes with your silence, the kind of resilience that grows in quiet spaces, away from the noise of the world, away from the judgment and the distractions. They fear the wisdom that comes from knowing when to speak and when to stay still, understanding that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is listen, reflect, and act with purpose. And most of all, they fear the peace you carry within you, the peace that remains unshaken no matter what storm rages outside. But here's the truth. Your silence doesn't make you weak. It makes you powerful. You are not silent because you're afraid, but because you are confident enough to stand firm in in your truth. You understand that silence is not about absence, but about presence. Presence of mind, presence of soul, and presence of heart. It's the strength to stand tall in the face of adversity without needing to defend yourself, without needing to convince anyone of your worth. It's the wisdom to know that not every battle is worth fighting, that not every person deserves your energy, and that sometimes the most impactful response is the one that comes in the form of stillness. Your silence is your strength, your weapon, and your shield. It's the ability to stay calm in the chaos, to remain steady when everything around you is crumbling. It's the power to choose peace over conflict, to prioritize your mental and emotional well-being over the drama and distractions that others try to bring into your life. And most importantly, it's the recognition that your peace is sacred. When you choose your peace, you are choosing to protect your energy, your growth, and your clarity. Now I want you to declare it, not just as words, but as a promise to yourself and to the world. I choose my peace. I walk in silence and I rise with strength. Write it down in the comments and let the world see the power of your words. Let them see that you are no longer waiting for permission to be yourself. Let them witness the transformation that happens when you finally choose peace over pressure, clarity over confusion, and strength over surrender. Your silence speaks volumes, and by declaring this, you are showing the world that you are not just surviving, you are thriving. So take a moment, type it in the comments, declare your peace, and let it be the foundation of everything you do moving forward. Let this be the moment where you rise stronger, wiser, and more in control than ever before. You are not meant to shrink back or be silenced by others. You are meant to rise, to move in silence, and to create a life filled with peace, power, and purpose.